Hi guys, so I already started filming this video once, but I didn't really like my energy and what I wanted to say, so I'm gonna start again and I hope this one will get better. And yeah, for this intro I wanted you to meet Mica, but she's really camera shy, she's right there. But if you hear any noise in the background, it's from her because she's playing and walking around and stuff. So this was a long ass intro. Without further ado, here are my tips on how to stop being a people pleaser. Tip number 1, know your worth. This is a big one for me. Whenever in the past, whenever I started thinking about me, all I saw was the negative. I never actually took into account that I'm quite an awesome person, if I do say so myself. No, but I never actually looked at what I have to offer. All I did was I looked at what other people have to offer. And I tried comparing myself to that and meeting their standard when in all actuality all I should do was just take into account what I have to offer, what makes me special, what makes me different than the rest. Like, trust me, there's at least one thing that separates you from everyone else. And yes, cliché as it sounds, there is. And you should always know your worth and never settle. Like, I'm gonna give you 2 examples from stories I've been talking about with my friend. One is from my experience and one is from someone else's, but I'm not gonna tell you which one is which because that's way too personal. But let's just say, example number 1. So you've been meeting this guy and you really hit it off, you actually thought you could have something with him, but all of a sudden he starts flaking. Like, he starts texting you every 4 or 5 hours. He never meets you when you actually arrange the day. He calls you at 11 p.m. and yeah. So, someone who's a people pleaser, which I was like a year or 2 ago, definitely, even half a year ago probably, someone like that would say, well, but he's a really nice guy, but he really puts effort when we actually meet and he tells me all these nice things and he's really cute and cool and yeah, sure, he's all that, but we all have 24 hours in a day. And if that person can take 2 seconds in a day to reply to your message, to your text, what the F? You're actually not important to that person, so why should you settle just because you feel nice when you're with him? Like, I seriously don't get that. Like, don't get me wrong, before, as I said, a year ago or half a year ago, I'll totally understand this situation. I'll be like, yeah, sure, I can get that, a person can be busy, da 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 da. But like, if a person calls you at 11 p.m. to tell you, hey, sorry, about today, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. What are you still doing around that person? Like, know your worth and don't settle. Set your standards high, because if you set your standards high for yourself, others are gonna treat you like that. If you let others treat you like trash, that's your problem, honey. Like, I know for me, I've really, as you can see, I'm passionate about this topic. Like, I put my time aside, and I don't have much time because I do go to college still, I work, I have my own place, like, I'm quite busy, plus blogging, YouTube, blah blah blah, I'm quite busy. So if I actually make time for someone, and they start getting flaky and don't take the time for me, like, bye bye, see ya, I don't need that kind of people in my life. Now the second example is, like, let's say you have a friend that you're always there for, like, if she calls you at 3 a.m. in the morning, you'd be there, no matter, even if it's like going out for McDonald's and stuff, like, you'd be there. Whatever she needs, you're there. Whenever she calls you, you make time. If you are busy as F, like, you just text her, I'll call you as soon as I can, and you go outside the classroom or whatever, and you call her ASAP. But when you need something, there's always that family dinner, there's always work in the morning, there's always her hair having to get touch-ups, there's always something. Now don't get me wrong, sometimes yeah, you should be a supporting friend and you should definitely, listen to that person and know that, like, you're their friend. If someone has to understand that some things have to be prioritized, it's you. But if you see that pattern keep on repeating yourself, what the F are you still doing with that person? Like, Sure, you may have had some great memories and you could be friends for like a couple of years and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, why should you make time for someone who's not making time for you? Like, I've said this in my previous video, ways to adult or how to adult or something like that, check it out. But if someone's not giving you 100% and you are, leave. Like, you're giving your energy, your time for a person that doesn't give that back. So leave as soon as you can. Okay, I see this video is gonna be a rambly one, so I'm gonna try to cut it as short as I can. Number 2, prioritize your time. I've also touched up on this one in my how to successfully adult video, so check that one out, because there I talked about where you should or how you should spend your time to actually be successful. But in this one I'm actually saying why you should and how you should spend your time in order to have peace with yourself and to stop being a people pleaser. So again, I'm gonna tell you about my experience. That I'm really a people pleaser. And usually, if I wanted to film, but a friend would call me that he or she is really bored and we should grab coffee, I'd be like, I'm gonna film another day, let's go out for coffee. But with years, I realized that no, making videos to me means more than grabbing coffee. Like, if you really wanted my company, or let's say someone calls me up right now, let's go on this crazy adventure trip, blah 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 blah. Like, if you really wanted that, we can schedule the day and I'm 100% down for that. Like, sure, but today is not gonna work for me. It's the same, like, at the end of the day, sometimes all I want to do is watch some movies or relax in bed, and I'd usually feel guilty when someone would ask me out for coffees or drinks or whatever, and I'd be doing that. But with years I realized that no, that's my downtime, like, that's the time where I relax, and that's just as important as my friends. Like, you should put yourself first. You should, as I said before, you set the standard on how people should treat you. If you make time for yourself, you're gonna show people that they should appreciate the time you actually give to them. If you're always available, guess what? They're not gonna take you seriously, because they know if they call you up at 3 AM, you're gonna be there. So yeah, number 3, learn to say no. As simple as that. I don't really know if I should explain this one, but I guess I will. Like, for me, this one was a big one, because I was always afraid to say no, whatever it was. If someone invited me over, or whatever it was, like whatever, even if I had to switch my schedule at work with someone because they really had a party or whatever, I would never ever say no, no matter how bad I didn't want to do that. I would always be, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But no, guys, just learn to say no, and you'll see that will give you the confidence you need, and that's 100% way to stop being a people pleaser. And I know it's really hard. I've been there, and I've just recently started using this tip myself, and I think this is the hardest one, because it shows that you actually are not a people pleaser. Like, I'm really inspired by a co-worker, and I hope I can call her my friend now, of mine. She's the one person that I look up to when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, she knows where to put her time, and she's not afraid to say no. Like, if someone would need a favor, like, hey, yada yada, could you come into work like 1 or 2 hours early? For me, I'd always say, yeah, sure, no biggie. But for her, she knows, yeah, sure, I'd get the money, but I wouldn't have time to eat lunch in peace or whatever. She puts herself first, and I admire that about her like 100,000,000%. So if you learn to say no. Number 4, try something you always wanted to do but never did. For me, that's yoga. I just gave a little bit of that away in my previous video. But yes, I've always wanted to try yoga, but I was always too shy, like, being around people, because I'm really not flexible at all, like, seriously. But recently I've decided to go about it in another direction, and instead of going to yoga classes, I put on some videos on my laptop, on YouTube. Like, you can seriously find anything on YouTube, and just to take those beginner steps. Like, I can tell you how much of a confidence boost that was. Plus, again, managing your time. I think it really showed me that I do like 15 minutes a day. If sometimes, like, I'm not saying this became my 100% priority, I should do yoga every day, like, no. I take as much time as I feel like it, but I try to do at least 15 minutes a day. Those 15 minutes I know are for myself, and when I actually start doing downward dog and it's not painful anymore, I'm like, hell yeah girl, you achieved something. Like those kind of stuff, like try something new, even if it's going to a new restaurant or trying a new dish or whatever it is. If you really wanted to try something, do it, and I can guarantee you'll have such a confidence boost that you'll start to prioritize you over other people. Another big one, number 5. If some friendships drain your energy, leave. The friendships, know you had some great memories with those people. Thank them for your memories, even if you don't say it out loud, because I do know that can be quite hard. At least, like, deep in yourself, thank them for what you experienced with them, but end it ASAP. I can't tell you how many times and how many points in my life I could have done way more, but I was surrounded with people who did not push me further, who did not challenge me, who did not make me happy, and I spent most of my energy just giving to those people instead of actually focusing on myself. And yeah, don't be afraid of moving on from people. Like this one was a big one for me, because I always thought like you shouldn't end friendships or relationships or whatever because the other person's gonna get hurt. But looking at it now, is it better for the other person to be hurt, or are you still gonna keep torturing yourself every time you're with them and feel like they drain your energy completely, and you're gonna come home after coffee or whatever feeling worthless and feeling like you just want to sleep? Like, what's more important to you? If you know, we all have those people in our lives, and yeah, sometimes you can't avoid them. Like sometimes they're your co-workers or schoolmates or whatever, and you can't avoid them. But try to minimize the time you spend with those people as much as you can. Like I know at some point in my life I had a schoolmate which was so negative. In the beginning I tried to fit in, I started being cool, I started complaining about everything, like I wanted to be one of the cool kids. But all of a sudden I was like, no, that's not me. Like, as you can see, I'm trying to be as positive as I can and as motivating and as ambitious as I can. So what I did was I just stopped taking my breaks with that person. I stopped going out for coffee, and let me tell you something, sooner or later I started talking to people, and more more people started doing the same. And guess what? The person that actually found out what she or he was doing was actually not that cool. And if you see her or him at this point in time, like she's a happy bubble all over the place, full of energy, like trust me, if you show the person why you left, you're gonna help them grow. Like think of it this way. If you always put up with someone and how they behave and what they do, they're just gonna keep on doing that same-ish. But if you actually turn around or confront them, which was a huge one for me, I'm not someone who likes to confront people with anything, but if you actually confront them, the person may not even be aware of what he or she may be doing. And it could happen, yeah, if my nose is red, it's really itchy and I'm itching constantly. It may have happened that you might have outgrown some people. Like, some people need more time than others to get to a certain point. I know with me, I've told you a million times, the last year was crazy for me. I've been partying, I've been crazy and everything. But for me, 1 year was plenty. Like, I am so over that. But if I look at some of my friends that I went out with at that period of my life, like, no, they still need some time, they need to get crazy. Like, that's why I always say I don't regret that year. Although I've ruined my body, like, it was perfect for common. Like, although I got some bad habits, I started smoking again, like, I went crazy, I don't regret it, because I knew for myself that I needed that period. And it might be that some people still need that period, and I know they're gonna try to pull you back, to grab your attention, to make you go out drinking. Trust me, it's been like 3 or 4 months since I've moved from the dorm, and I still get invites like on a regular basis. But it's up to you to know where you stand. Again, thank the person for inviting you, tell them you appreciate the thought of you. But just move on. It's gonna be hard, and sometimes, yeah, you're gonna feel lonely as hell, trust me on this one. But at the end of the day, just ask yourself, is that person bringing you closer to where you wanna be? Is that person actually contributing something to your life? Or is it just a good ego boost because they say you're fun when you're drunk? Like, reevaluate this stuff, guys. Quite a big one for me, leave while you still have great memories. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't leave some people behind, some friendships behind sooner, because when I think back, like, some friendships were still great friends because we've ended it in the high when we had some crazy times and everything. And when I look back, all I see are the good memories. And for some, they actually saw me transform. And we did not end up on such good terms because they thought I became stuck up, but all I did was I got responsible, like I got some responsibilities, and I started viewing them as being childish, and I didn't even realize why I was hanging out with them like a year ago. So leave while you still have good memories. And one extra thing, because I'm just an awesome, take care of your mind and body. For me, what saved me and what still keeps on saving me is trying out yoga and meditating. Yes, guys, I'm gonna try to meditate at least 5 to 10 minutes a day. Trust me, it's hard to even do that. But it brings my mind to peace because I recently realized I've been struggling with some things for my entire life, with some issues I have. And although I never wanted to talk about them, one of the issues I have, because I should totally talk about them, but meditating just brought peace into my life, and yoga also. If I do use music when I'm doing yoga, it's something really calming, or I'm in complete quiet. And with taking care of your body, like if you keep on running, I always use this metaphor. Being busy and saying you don't have time to rest and relax, it's like saying you don't have time to fuel your tank in your car because you're too busy driving. Like, sooner or later it's gonna catch up and you're just gonna have to stop and all the shit's gonna come behind you. Like, for me, I didn't really want to talk about this, but I didn't really take care of my body or mind that well for the last 2 months because I was just too busy. I was running errands, I was working, I was going to college, I was this, I was that. And sooner or later it caught up to me and it got really bad, like seriously really bad. Oh, I don't want to talk about this. But it got to a point where I didn't know how to continue my life, what to do with my life, if there's any point with it. So, and even my body, like in the last 2 years, I'm sure you can tell, I gained like 15 kilos because I was busy, I didn't have time to prepare my food, I didn't have time to like, that's just excuses, guys. Like, drink your water, eat your veggies, do some meditation, and you'll be all good. Okay guys, so that's gonna be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like or subscribe so you don't miss out on new ones. And in the future, I'm actually planning on doing a video on how to boost your confidence, because if you see me now and I look all confident, trust me, that's hard work. That was really hard ass work. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that, because I'd want to touch up on some things on how you can take care of the outside and the inside to actually boost your self-esteem, to feel great in your own skin. And yeah, now I'm gonna stop talking and I'll see you later. Bye bye!